Just watching Nyghtstorm. Welcome to my vlog. Let's get it. Did you know that 63% of the youths that commit suicide are from fatherless homes? 70% of the youths incarcerated are from fatherless homes. And get this is the whopping number that's scary. 80% of rapists are from fatherless homes. Do you kind of get where I'm going? Well, it was my privilege when Torri J. Evans of a wonderful charity that she started called the Fatherless Generation Foundation. She called me out to do an event with her, and she asked me to speak about my life growing up without my dad. And to make a long story short, it was tough. And let's just roll right into this video. I want to thank you, Torri, for inviting me out. You have a wonderful organization and you're changing lives. So let me shut up and let's get into this very, very serious, in-depth video.
So when you tell me you're up in the ante to get your dad involved and he's still not coming, what are you thinking? Because let's say 12, let's fast forward to 12, 13 years old when you're becoming a man.
Okay.
What are you thinking at that age? Because you up the ante. Your name is bad at 6.
Oh, yeah.
So by 12, he's done some stuff.
Yep.
What are you thinking at 12, 13 when you need your father? When you're looking for him, what are you thinking?
Well, at that age, well, we're going to go with 11.
Okay, let's go with 11.
In 1985. Okay. Now, eventually, I started to calm myself down because I figured all this stuff ain't doing nothing to get me in trouble and get me more whoopings, and I don't like whoopings. It hurts. So I just decided I'm going to just try to be the best that I can be without dad.
Okay.
But when my mom sent me off to summer camp in the summer of 1985, that is a moment when I really truly realized that I was fatherless. I won't tell you this, and I tell people wherever I am in the world when I talk about this story.
I want you to tell this story.
That I was raped by a camp counselor. He was a very wise, knowledgeable man. He was a very spiritual man, very religious. He taught me how to canoe. He taught me how to survive in the wilderness. I trusted this man with everything. But on the last day of camp, he pulled me into a cabin and he raped me. And he told me this is what God wants. And the priest that did it to me when I was young, he was led by God to do it also. And come to find out, he was also fatherless as well. Okay. And once I got home, because he told me, if you ever told anybody, since God is omniscient and omnipresent, all-knowing, all-powerful, if you ever told anybody, God is going to let me know where you live, and I will come to your house and kill you and your mother.
Wow. At 11?
At 11 years old. Now, at 11 years old, I honestly believed him because this man was very powerful.
And you looked at him in a fatherly sense.
As a dad.
I got that. When you say he helped you and he taught you how to canoe, and you're at camp.
Yeah.
He's teaching you life skills, character building things, things that you wish your father had taught you. So you are attached to this man at the hip.
I was close to him. I mean, I trusted him with everything. And that's one of the main reasons why it really, really hurt and pretty much destroyed my spirit. Because even when I got home, and I was afraid to talk to mom, and anytime I talked to mom about anything, you know, she had so much stress at work, so much drama going on, that if I came to her with anything, she'd just cuss me out and say, go away.
Oh,
okay. So anyway, but I knew if I told, God is going to send this man to kill me and her. But I said, I'm going to reach out to my daddy. So I called my father. He was still living in Birmingham. And I said, Dad, I've been raped. And my father said, what do you mean raped? I said, I got raped at camp, and dude said, if I told, God's going to send him to kill me. I need you to come and get me. And he said, okay, son, I'm on the way. Well, got off the phone, 3 minutes turned into 3 hours. 3 hours turned into 3 days. 3 days turned into 3 weeks. 3 weeks turned into 3 years.
So he never came?
He never showed up. I sat there waiting on my father the whole time knowing that, you know, this man gonna rescue me. He gotta come get me now. But he didn't show up, no call, no show. And my mom was wondering why I was crying so hard in the bathroom. I said, because Dad was gonna come, and if I tell you, God gonna send some man to kill us. And I want Dad to be here to protect us when he get here, but Dad ain't here. So, when I never told her what happened. I told Mom I was raped when I was 30. But I never
So
told
you
him.
held on to that secret.
I held on to it because
for 19
I
years.
honestly believed that what this man who I trusted so much said that if I ever told, God is going to send this man to kill us.
So you held on to this secret for 19 years.
Yeah, I held a long time. Yeah.
And what does that do to a person's life to hold on to that secret that long?
Well,
That kind of
well, the fact that I did not have a support system. I didn't have that man to protect me. At that moment, I honestly, truly realized I was fatherless. I mean, I had a dude that brought me to the world, but he wasn't there. And at that point, I realized, chasing women was more important to him than seeing about his child who just got raped. Okay? Now, Dad had his own particular set of issues, and he's not in this world anymore.
Okay.
So I will respect his memory. But he had his own things going with his own father, my grandfather. There was some issues there. But my thing is this, regardless of the stuff that you had going on, when it's your child now, I know your daddy didn't do nothing. But when your child called you in the middle of the night and said, Dad, I was raped, and some dude said, God gonna send somebody to kill me, I don't care what chick you with, or who trying to make you feel better because of your own particular situation of where you feel fatherless in, you answer that call and you get there. And that's when I realized I did not have a father.
at that moment.
At that moment, that's when I knew it's on me. I'm the only one here. I'm all by myself in the world.
For 19 years, you hold on to this secret. I know you're married at this point, and you're married during these times. You're having children. What is that like, YG? You're holding on to a serious secret. And you're getting married, you're having children, you're becoming a father, you're a husband, you're all those things. How does this play out in your life?
Destructive. Since I didn't have anyone that I trusted, when I married my first wife, I had just recently had been homeless at the time, right before I married her. Because when I say the relationship between my mother and I love my mother, but it was a very tumultuous relationship, especially when I started looking exactly like my father. It's like she would see the man that hurt her so bad. She would see him walking through the kitchen. She would have daily reminders of him every time I came in and said, good morning, Mom. Sometimes she'd slam the door in my face. She's like, you look just like him. You look just like him. I'm like, I can't help that.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Hold up. That's a whole nother, real quick, we're going to dive in real quick.
Okay.
The man who wasn't there for you, you called at 11 and said, I was raped, and he didn't show.
Didn't show.
He's a womanizer.
Yes, he was,
And he has some issues going on with him because he's fatherless.
Well,
and you look just like him. How does that make you feel? You know you look just like him.
Well, when I was growing up, I used to hate myself because the image that I saw in the mirror was a person that abandoned me.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, say that one more time. I don't know if y'all heard that. That's serious.
The image that I saw in the mirror was the person that abandoned me.
Jesus.
And it was tough. It was tough. It was tough. I'll let that marinate for a second. Well, the reason why I say I hated myself is because since Mom saw an image of someone who hurt her, I was feeling rejected by my mom. Okay, because she couldn't get over a lot of the stuff. And like I said, some of the stuff wasn't her fault. Some of the stuff, she should take responsibility for. But she could not get over those issues between her and my father to the point where her child, who just so happened to look like him, she has so much anger and hatred towards that man, and a lot of it rightfully so, but it had a way of pouring down on me. And stuff, I'm getting yelled at for stuff that have absolutely nothing to do with, or I'm getting blamed for stuff that happened before I was born.
Right.
Okay? And, simply because of what he did. And so, since I could not get any attention from Dad, no support, and I couldn't get any kind of real love and nurturing from Mom, even though I know she loved me.
Right.
But she had her own issues she had to deal with. I felt by myself, and it caused the relationship between me and my mom. I left home as soon as I graduated from high school, and I would have rather been living on the streets of Atlanta than at home with Mom, because I wake up in the morning, I'm getting stuff thrown at me, or you look just like him, I can't stand you, this, I hate him, and it's like, I felt safer on the streets than at home. So, and I was sleeping on the streets of Atlanta for a couple of months, and unfortunately, some teenagers from a very prestigious college around here decided they saw this poor little black kid sleeping on the street. They said, look, he's piss poor. They decided to urinate on him and make me piss poor for real. So, and that's what they said. And when I woke up, I chased them, and Atlanta police arrested me. They said, oh, he's trying to rob us. And I said, look, they urinated on me. You can see the pee coming from my head all the way down. And they were like, no, he peed on himself. And the cops believed it and arrested me. So
you've gone from being abandoned by both of your parents,
yeah,
homeless, and then in jail?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, even molested.
Yeah.
And then you've had a lot happen. And what age is this at this point?
I'm 18 and almost 19 now.
That's a lot to be 19 years old.
Yeah. Well, I spent like 2 days in jail until somebody, a sergeant came and said, you didn't pee on you. Come on, man.
2 days is a long time.
Come on, man. Yeah. And I was in and out of homeless shelters until I finally got myself on my feet, and then I married. I met my older children's mother, and
so let's talk about that marriage.
Oh man. Oh.
I had the distinct pleasure of meeting her.
Yes, you
and
did.
She's sweet.
She's wonderful. We've got a lot of stuff worked out now.
She's at the wedding. They're all together, so they have worked some things out. Trust me, I was just at a wedding. And it was beautiful. Yeah. But before we got to we're gonna move past we're gonna go way back. Because the wedding was a beautiful time. I mean, it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Because you guys are a blended family.
Yeah.
I watched your wife's daughter walk down the aisle with her biological father.
Yeah.
You meet him halfway.
Yeah.
And they walk the rest of the way together, you guys.
Yeah.
It was my first father's daughter dance. They both danced with her. It's beautiful. It was like it was a remarkable moment. It's what you see when you see healing and forgiveness. Yeah. But it's taken a lot to get to this point.
It takes work. Yeah.
So tell me about that marriage. Give me one high point about that marriage.
Well, when I saw
She's pretty.
I'm like, oh yeah. And out of respect for my wife right here, I love you, baby. You're sitting right here.
I'm asking honest questions. We're gonna get to you, boo.
I ain't trying to get in trouble. But let's just say way back in the day, that's what I was on. Okay. And
she's a PK?
Yeah, she's a preacher's kid.
She's a preacher's kid.
And what she wanted to get out her daddy's house so bad. And her parents are great people, but they were very, very strict. We all know how it is, with preachers' kids. Sometimes they got so much stress on them. Once they get out, they're gone. And so we got married, and she moved in. We moved in together, and she was gone.
She was gone even in the marriage,
She was gone. And trust me, my children, we have all had honest conversations with our children on how we are not perfect as people, that we have had to grow up and mature. But I tell you this, it was a tough marriage. And we were both at fault. I was young, we were full of rage, unforgiveness from a childhood, and abandonment. And I'm like, I married you because I need somebody to be with me, be with me.
You needed her to fill the void of your father.
I don't have nobody.
And your mom.
And my mom.
So she had double duty.
Yeah,
as a wife.
But as a wife, you're supposed to be here for me, and I'm supposed to be here for you. I need somebody, because I ain't got no dad, I ain't got no mom, I got a wife.
And where was she?
Well, she was at home, and then she wasn't. So, but I'm not going to go too deep into that.
I got you.
But I'll tell you this, we fixed it.
What was the low point?
The low point.
That caused that's it.
All right, the low point is when.
Because you said my first wife, so that
okay, the low point is when my children right here were very, very young, and they were taken from me because me and her were not getting along. And her parents came and got her and the kids, and I didn't have no money to fight them. And they snatched from me because me and her weren't getting along. Like, well, if you ain't gonna be with her, then you don't need to have your children. And they had more money than me, more influence than me, and I couldn't fight them.
So now the fatherless child has turned into a father who is now dealing with children who could very well grow up fatherless if he does not get his act together.
Exactly.
So now we're divorced.
Yep.
What happens after that? Because we do fast forward here.
Yep.
To Miss Torri.
Yeah.
So we meet
Well,
this,
wonderful wife. Yes.
but that wasn't so wonderful either.
Not in the beginning, it wasn't.
Because we got, this is where it gets real interesting.
I mean, I feel like the Matrix. You want to see how
yeah.
far the rabbit hole goes?
Oh yeah, come on, we going.
Okay.
We're going.
Well, in my book, I've disclosed information. So, and Toby and I have talked about this stuff. And anytime I talk about our relationship, I disclose to folks that I have my wife's permission to talk. Because I will get jacked up.
Look at her, she's like, whatever.
But let's just say when I met Toby, I was in the midst, Mr. Playboy Mac Daddy. I had 30 girlfriends.
I heard this story the first day we met. I couldn't believe it.
And
30, no, he's serious.
Yeah, 30. I had 30 girlfriends.
30 girlfriends. He's serious.
It ain't no made up number, this is fact. And I was trying to fill that void.
And it took 30 women to do that, or were they not able to do it either?
Nah, I still wasn't satisfied.
You would have had more
if I could have had 100. I was trying to be
How do you
more
manage
changed.
30? Just aside, this is real quick. How do you manage 30 girlfriends?
One a day.
Ooh, wait. She said, stop the madness.
Transparency, I'm being honest.
One a day, and they were okay with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
One a day.
So now he's turned into Mac Daddy, y'all. Now he's. You guys are listening how this is playing out. Okay, 30 days. Okay, so Miss Toby is one of the.
No.
Oh, she wasn't even in the
She
case?
wasn't even part of that.
Oh, okay, so.
She was not a part of that. No, she was
Okay.
not. But I'll put it to you this way. But when Toby came into my life and I met her, I immediately broke up with all 30 of them. I said, this is the woman I really want to be with, because even though I didn't really know her, it's just I felt a connection. It's like our spirits bonded. And she was able to give me something that I've been missing for all of those years. I felt safe. Even with all them 30 girlfriends, we were having a good time or whatever, but I didn't feel safe. But when I met her, it's like, I can breathe. I can be myself. I don't have to put on airs to try to impress all these women or these dudes or try to be harder than what I am, because I'm actually broken inside, because I don't have nobody that loves me. My children been taken from me. My first marriage done got broken up, and dad is still doing whatever he doing, and mama's still blaming me for everything dad did. So I felt safe.
So you guys got married, or you get married at that point, but something happens, and this doesn't go the way it's initially planned.
Well, like I said earlier about ego and pride, I still carried a lot of unforgiveness and hate and pulled stuff from the first marriage and a bunch of stuff, and she still had crap going on from the marriage that she was in, and we did not have our act together. And our marriage dissolved within 6 months. The first time, within 6 months.
You heard that, it dissolved the first time.
It was done. It was wrapped.
6 months.
We got divorced. And I was at a new low place. I was sitting in a rat and roach infested motel room, because that's all I could afford, after paying child support to my ex, and the little bit of money I was getting, I ain't have enough money to live anywhere, really quality wise, but I was in a rat roach infested motel room, and I prayed. I said, God, I'm gonna be honest. I'm mad as hell at you. My life is crap. Everything I tried and failed. Everybody I've tried to have supposed to love me don't. And I done lost another wife. And the children that she had, I love them, because like I said, it was a blended family. They're gone. So I'm
You're
by
alone
myself.
again.
I'm alone. I'm abandoned again, and I'm mad. What do I need to do to fix this?
How old were you at this point?
29, maybe 29 or 30, I believe.
So you still haven't come out with the secret then? The secret is still eating at you on the inside.
You're
not 30 yet.
Yeah,
You said
I
you
still
close
ain't told
at
mom
30.
yet.
You
No.
still haven't told your mother yet.
No. And it was killing me. And I prayed and I said, Father, I desire my wife back. I desire my family. But it's something going on why I keep losing stuff. And the one common denominator, it wasn't mom. It wasn't dad. It wasn't my ex-wife. It wasn't the people that urinated on me. It wasn't all the folk. It was me. I'm the common denominator. And I can't expect the world to fix itself to help me. I gotta fix myself to help me so I can help the world.
You cannot expect the world to fix itself to fix you.
Yeah, can't. It'll never happen. You can pray, dream. The world will not change for you. It just won't. And it won't change your circumstances. The only common denominator with your circumstances is you. So I gave an honest prayer to God. And I said, I know I got a lot of work that needs to be done with me, but Father, I'm willing to do it. And it's going to hurt. It's going to require change. It's going to require sacrifice. And I will tell you that that's when I started writing my first book. When I was in that rat and roach infested motel room outside of getting the roaches off and kicking the rats off, I was writing. And it's like my spirit evolved. The more time I spent praying in that kind of condition where there was no other distractions, I had to learn to start fixing my issues one at a time. So I called Toby and I called my ex-wife and I said, tell me about me. Tell me the good things and the bad things and be straight up honest. And then I even asked my children, they were all little at the time, I said, tell me about me. And they told me about me, about my good qualities and things they honestly wish would change. So I had to have that honest conversation with myself. I'm not perfect. I have screwed up. This is not mom's fault. This is not dad's fault because I'm a grown man now.
Right.
I can't blame them for whatever they do. Whatever they do is whatever they do in their life.
But you're responsible.
But I'm responsible for me.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that I'm carrying that's been eating away at me and I've been making decisions based off of my past and off of the hurts of my past, it got to stop. Because all this blaming of everybody else I done did, I done chased away everybody that I care about. Everything's destroyed and gone. So it took a while, but I eventually was able to get myself back together and become a hero into into the eyes of my kids again. Because for a while, I was like a villain. They could, people on this side of the family would talk about me over here, and because of my actions, they'd be like, yeah, I told you he wasn't no good.
Ooh.
He ain't nothing, your daddy ain't nothing, your daddy.
You're back at bad.
Yeah, I was
You're
big,
back at bad.
all cap bad, big B-A, big A-B-D, yeah, I was bad. But I had to change all that, but it took time, and it took a lot of patience, a lot of forgiveness, and a lot of mercy. And all the things that God was giving to me, patience, forgiveness, and mercy, I had to give it to other people because it takes a while for people to catch up to your change. It takes a while.
It does.
And you can't expect humans to turn on a dime when you say, well, I changed. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay? And just like God was showing me patience, forgiveness, and mercy, I had to do the same thing. I can't ask my father to give me something that I'm not willing to give somebody else.
So, did you talk to your father during this point and get something resolved during this point with him, or what happened?
Well, I talked to Dad, and I basically got the same thing. Okay. But he tried to make up for his lack of action with me. He was an excellent grandfather to my children.
Okay.
That man was phenomenal. I even got jealous of my kids at one point. I'm like, where was this dude at when I was growing up?
Yeah.
Like, this guy right here, where was he? He's phenomenal.
So there was a level of reconciliation because he came and put what he should have put in you into your children.
Yeah, well, he basically told me, he said, I done got older and I can't handle as many women as I used to.
Oh.
So he was honest, just honest. And I said, Dad, I got it from you then. I have one a day, and I'm older, and I ain't got the patience for it. And you'll go broke quick trying to have 30
where
girlfriends.
you get the money from that? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But it was like an icebreaker. We had something in common. We were both, excuse my language, we were both hoes, and we were both. And
you just said the icebreaker between you and your father was.
If that was the only way I could get that man to talk to me, I took the only way I could get that man to talk to me. And I'm just being honest. This is complete transparency.
Yes.
We were both out there doing stupid stuff, womanizing, and that is what I had in common with him. And he said, now, womanizing will destroy you. I'm telling you now, it can grow you old quick, it can destroy your fortune, it can destroy your soul. Because when you destroy so many people, karma come back on you. And
that was wisdom.
That was the most wisdom he ever laid down on his child. And I understood every word, yup, because I went through it. And that is how we were able to kind of fix our relationship.
Connect, yeah.
You know, because he wasn't the type of, yo, son, I love you and I'm proud of you. He was like, oh yeah, I had more chicks than you did and I survived longer. Oh really, Dad? Let me show you something. You know, but
I am shocked.
in a messed up way, that's happy. All I had with my dad.
I'm shocked, but I'm still happy for you all at the same time, just to be honest. I'm shocked at the fact that that was your conversation, but I'm happy you had something in common that you could share and connect with your dad.
Well,
that's
I like
a weird
that.
emotion for, I'm sorry, that's weird.
I know it's weird, but I honestly, I see it as a gift because in 2007, my father passed away. And like I said, he never honestly said, son, I love you, I'm proud of you, this, that. He always just said, be a better dad than me. You know, love your kids. You know, he never really honestly said, son, I love you, but he said, you know, I love what you blessed me with, so many grandchildren. And I was able to experience something that I've never experienced. At that moment, he felt safe. So that's the gift that I could have gave to him. And when you was talking to Michael earlier about what would he say if he was to see his father, at that moment, it was all gone. Everything was gone.
You can't make that up. When you've experienced it, it leaves.
It was gone. I had so much respect for the man. I needed him, but at that moment, it's like it just didn't matter no more. It was gone. And I was able to, you know, right before he passed away, I was able to call my mom and tell her that I had gotten raped. And she was like, if you would have told me, we would have hunted this dude down, we would have did this, I would have had Georgia State Patrol, this, that. And I believe her, she would have did it. She would have did it. And it made me feel a little bit better about my relationship with her. Now, we still got a lot of work to do. But the fact is, I started feeling a little bit safer with her. I started getting the stuff that I needed. And the one thing, how I live my life now, I have everything I need. I don't have to compensate for anything. I don't have to act a certain way for anything. God has blessed me, you know.
Because now you've remarried.
Yeah, we remarried again. I couldn't let her go. No, y'all let her go. I couldn't live without her. I said, baby, we got remarried again in 2008. And I said, look here, baby, I can't be out here like this. And you can't be out here. I don't want nobody else to have you. And you too good of a woman for me not to get my act together. We getting married again. We get married again. I don't care. We gonna make it happen.
So you hear how YG has healed his fatherless issues and his fatherless past, and then was able to go back and humble himself enough to marry his second wife for the second time.
Yep.
How dynamic and how awesome that is, because that's what I love to see in my kids, in the adults that I interact with. And so often people tell me, oh, you can't fix that. Fatherlessness, you can't fix that. And I am showing you proof that I didn't fix this, and I don't fix my kids. That's all. Look, we can play games and call this psychology and all that. This is all God's doing.
The word that I heard from you in this segment is safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that you have allowed yourself to parent in such a way that you're not parenting out of fear.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Exactly.
When you went to, back in your story, when you were saying that, when you had that traumatic experience with the camp counselor, and you called your father like, I know now, out of all of the things I've ever done, I know he's coming now.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived that experience, so I connect with that.
Yes, sir.
Of being a child and doing any and everything just so dad can come. Even if he was coming to beat me, I knew he was coming. So one thing that never even came to my mind as a child, now that I'm an adult, was the fact that the reason why he didn't come, maybe he would have been forced to confront some things in himself
Yes, that's the word.
that he was not ready for.
Yes.
And even though you were his child and you would think as you're thinking as a concerned parent. So it's easy for you, it's innate for you to think, oh, I'm gonna be there for my child. But if you didn't have it as a father, if you didn't have it as a child, then you don't know how to respond to it as innately as you did with your children, as you're able to do that with your children. So I think it's commendable for you to have such a blended family and such a loving family and to be able to parent from a place of safety and security and no judgment. I
have much more than a comment than, well, a statement much more than a comment. My dad, pretty much, what he said was pretty much true. And I mean, I can relate to my father with some stuff. I wasn't fatherless, but he just didn't live in same place or whatever, in the same home. And some of the stuff, like, I'm just like my father. Like, some of the stuff I would get to do when I was in elementary school, I would get his attention, I would be bad. Like, in Alabama, they called me hard rock because I had a hard head. You know, I was a hard head, and you know.
I'm not going to Alabama. They give me names.
And I was really something. And like where I see myself now, from his help, from where I came from, is much more than what I would say than if I didn't have my father. And I am so glad that he stepped up and was became a man and showed me how to be a man, and I wouldn't be the way how I am today, because I'm much more experienced and I know better now that that he's in here. And I was just thinking, like, all the stuff that he's been through, like, it just goes to my mind or whatever, and I'm like my father really has went through some stuff, and I just love him. I love him for that, because he does a lot of, like, the way how he does a lot of his things. It comes from his past. The way how he does a lot of his things comes from his past, and I mean, some stuff I don't agree with, but most of the times it's the right thing to do or whatever, because he's learned from his mistakes. It's actually showing me, and I appreciate you.
I love you too. Come on, boy. This ain't even scripted. This is real stuff, man. I love you too, man. I love you too, man.
Hey guys, this is Lisa Peace. I just met YG and heard his testimony. I'm 29. I was raised with my father. My father didn't have a mother or a dad. So his mother was an alcoholic. Father left the house, started a new family. And so I just wanted to tell YG and his son that's holding the camera that, like, that's all the developments that we were supposed to do to break our family curses if we happen to be in them. So for me to see your dad, it was like, that light's bothering me. I don't know if you need it. But when I heard your dad talking, I was like, because I'm the daughter that's healing myself, plus my mom wasn't there, my dad was there, and then my dad didn't have parents, to see him help me connect to what my dad was doing so that we could further repair what we already have, you know, because he raised me. So that was just really awesome. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
And when you were talking, I was like, I told your dad, I was like, when you hear your son say things like that, it heals your memories that before you were born, you know, it helps you. He was like, yeah. So